sometimes with the riders, accidents or touch.
90-mile-per-hour crash.
Every rider that passed me push me out of the way, and from tomorrow on I will try the same.
He runs them both wide. Gagne goes down in the gravel.
Danilo came around the outside of me and we kind of came together, just touched a little bit.
Take each other off the track.
Some riders like to rub, so we'll just have to make sure we rub every bit as hard.
Oh! Cam Peterson and Petrucci come together.
Down into turn number 5, and he parks him. Go, go, go. Here comes Schultz, elbows in.
At MotoAmerica, they're on edge all the time.
As Petrucci now makes the pass.
Holy!
Previously on Pressure to Rise. Race 1 at Road America saw the first photo finish of the season.
They come across the stripe, and it is Matthew Schultz to the line in a photo finish.
And I didn't even know that I had won. You know, I looked to the right after crossing the finish line, and it actually looked like Danilo was slightly in front of me. So I wasn't even sure for the first couple of seconds. But then, yeah, once I kind of looked up at the big screen on the side of the first corner, I realized, and I mean, it was awesome. I want to definitely hold on to it.
After Jake Gagne went off track in lap 1, and his teammate Cameron Peterson's bike lost power in lap 5, the Schultz and Petrucci showdown took shape.
I'm like super pumped to finish second. Super pumped. So Matt drives out of the chicane and I'm like, holy it's on. And then from there, I was just waiting for Petrucci to jump. All this guy has to do is go, and we're done. Not because our bike's a roach, but because that bike is so powerful. The start-finish line is obviously 50 feet to my right. Well, I just kept looking at my phone, and when that little signal went checkered and Matt was P1, I lost my mind.
God.
Both Tytler's cycle racing riders had crashes in qualifying, but that didn't deter them from getting on the podium for the first time, as Hector Barbera took third in race 1 and PJ Jacobson was second in race 2.
I was kind of in my head saying like, hey, you know, the podium is right here. You know, coming up the hill, we were able to get second place, so it was good for us and good for the whole team, so I'm pretty happy. It's a very important that race for me because it's Michael Tytler is race at home and him is work too much for the team have that option, and it's a special podium for me.
Cam Peterson captured the second Superbike victory of his career in a race most thought would be wet, a drying track made for an added challenge as the entire field was on rain tires.
Yeah!
so stoked to finally get my second win of my career. Both of them have been in sketchy conditions, so I'm looking to get one in the dry and just going to keep building off this progress. We're slowly getting there.
After winning race 1, Matthew Scholz stole the points lead from Petrucci. But that didn't last long, as Scholz finished in an unfamiliar place, 8th in race 2.
Yeah, we got it right yesterday, and it bit us today.
That's what it is.
Matthew still scored points. We still had a strong weekend. We've got to concentrate on the positives and just keep pushing, because I think we can do this.
See if Jake's coming or not.
Gagne ended up 4th. Heading into round 5 at the Ridge, Danilo Petrucci is still the points leader by 7 over Scholz.
Watching the mega screen, I saw no one behind me, so I say, okay, maybe today I have to look at the championship. Taking home a podium is okay, and yeah, I'm happy.
I know we can fight for the win now. So it was absolutely not very emotional, very exciting to see the team work as one, and really great to see Matthew be as mature as he was with difficult times and everything not going his way perfect. So I would say compared to last year, the whole effort had ramped way up. And I think it was a turning point for us in the championship, and more of a turning point for us within our team. Yeah, it was like turning the page, you know, big sigh of relief. Monkey off back.
It's round 5 at the Ridge in the Pacific Northwest, and it's looking to be another hot race weekend with temperatures nearing 90. But nothing compared to last year's 108-degree record.
Just rolling out of pit lane, put your visor down, and it was just like, it's like when you open an oven and stick your head in it. It was something I'd never felt before. I even had to close my little vents on my helmet, because I'd rather just be stuck in the heat than have like it's literally like put a blow dryer on your face, and that's what it felt like.
PJ Jacobsen is coming off a 2nd place finish at MotoAmerica and is eager to learn a track he's never ridden before.
Take your time. First session, main thing is we want to learn the track. I've got some stuff we can try, but that's secondary. The main thing is we just try to get the track as well nailed down as we can, right? So go out and do, like we talked about, an 8 or 10 lap stint right away in the beginning. Come in, and we'll talk about it a little bit. I may make a change right then. I may just send you back out on the same bike. I do have a link to try, I do have another tire to try, but we don't have to get to any of that stuff.
After coming off of that, high, and then coming here, I was already lacking a bit of confidence coming here, though, because it just seemed like a very hard track to learn, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get to any track days before the event, so it's kind of how I expected it to go.
And we've got a couple different settings in the ECU for different torque mapping, and we've got one set up with a throttle splitter again to try. You don't have to do any of it because this track's going to be pretty busy, but if you come in, we've got 2 different options. Hang on a second, we're on a delay. We're on a short delay. They haven't told us how much yet, but we're on a short delay.
The temperature's good, isn't it? I mean, there's a little bit of the track's decently hot, but there's a little bit of a cool air.
Here we go again. Doesn't feel like that long ago that we were at a racetrack.
It really doesn't, does it?
No.
If I go to torque and I change torque and then I do a lap or 2, it's going to revert back to exactly. Yeah.
And when we do the pushing off thing out of the pit box, let the bike get rolling a little bit before you put it in gear. Lately, you've just been kind of clicking it before the guys start pushing you. All it does is a little bit easier on the transmission.
come around that last roundabout, you turn left to go over that 4th Street Bridge, you look off to the distance and you see Mount Rainier. I'm like, oh my God, you try to take a picture of it. It doesn't even, you can't even, it's like,
oh yeah, what's it? Yeah, it's not.
You can't even, I took a picture of it and I tried to send it and I'm like, nah.
What's up?
PJ is experiencing some issues, so he comes in a little earlier than planned.
It's doing like a pit limiter in first gear. Other than that, is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
The front wheel was like a little bit like that, but I think it's fine.
Okay, it's probably just the new tire.
Yeah.
Get some warmers on it. Other than that, everything else, like the shifter's working and everything.
It's like when you go into first, it's like it's on pit limiter, you know?
Yeah, but only in first.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want, you can get off, you can sit on it. We're gonna look at the data real quick and make sure we got it right.
Westby Racing has a new electronics engineer this weekend, and he is put to work early in practice 1.
EB, if we can do another step again in that late 2 phases, please. Then maybe between this exit and the next one, well, if we just put more wheelie control in, it should fix these. But these are the main areas. But if we do the whole thing, yeah, okay.
He's got a lot of experience, but that was a difficult position we put him in. First practice, here you go, good luck. But yeah, he did a really good job. Matthew was really patient as well. Start of FP1, we were really far off, but Matthew kept calm, kept making changes, and by the end of Friday, we were pretty positive, honestly.
The EB, when I start turning in, it feels like there's like nothing on from the halfway point down. It's almost like.
Okay. When we send you, I'll send you on the. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll let him just do that, and then we'll send it on that button, and then in the meantime, we'll look at it and prepare something because it's still not strong enough. Okay. So.
Go to the bike health and make sure like all the sensors are working okay. Like, is there any alarms in the bike health or anything? The gear position switch isn't like trying to swap gears or anything at first. It's staying in first. Okay.
The round at Road America didn't go as planned for Jake Gagne, but the team came away with some improvements.
Feels really good.
Okay.
Like, especially those changes from Road America, like I feel a lot better on the brakes. Like I have a much better feel of, like it's not going to push the tire out, it's going to push into the tire.
Okay, good.
Uscito qua dalla prima chicane, cioè proprio non impenna, proprio vado in full.
Spinna e basta.
No, proprio allora centro curva, diciamo con la moto piegata non c'ho tanto grip. Però dopo quando la metto dritta proprio la moto non accelera, nemmeno impenna.
Neanche dritta?
Non impenna. Cioè proprio non va.
Freno, si ferma abbastanza bene?
Sì, si ferma abbastanza bene, fa un po' di shattering lassù nella curvina stretta.
Sì.
No, c'è da capirla, è una pista del cazzo.
Vogliamo provarla più bassa per vedere se cambia qualcosa?
Adesso guardiamo le spinte come siamo messi. Al momento è così.
Qui è il dove prendi di più.
Hey, it's cutting ignition. We don't know why, but it's basically like trying to cut like the traction controls on, but it shouldn't be, but we don't have a solution. I don't want to waste any more time. The bike will accelerate and the bike will run. It's just going to act like the ignition traction control is on, is what it's doing. But it will accelerate. So just get some laps in. We're going to keep going through data, okay?
So just so I'm clear with you, you said you come up and do this right over here, and then through this left here is how you're having a hard time bringing it back.
Yeah, and even around this long left, a little bit, like all the double apron stuff when I'm out in the middle.
Yeah.
Where you kind of want to be neutral throttle.
Yeah, and we'll let it hook back.
Yeah.
And you're having to roll back off to get it to hook.
Yeah.
Put a little spring in the back, we'll see what it does.
So go ahead and pull the shock out. We're just going to change the spring on that shock. We're not doing the link yet. And then we need to go up on the spring rate on the front.
Hector Barbera's crew had some confusion, and it almost cost them some time.
I can just put the other shock back in.
Hey, Jeff. Jeff, what are you doing?
What?
What are you doing?
Tell me. I'm changing shock.
No. I need to put a different spring on this shock and put it back in. Take that shock out. Good thing you were watching him. I was watching the other guys.
On Danilo Petrucci's last lap of the session, the Ducati was visibly smoking and left the team about 3 hours to swap an engine in time for Q1.
This morning we start well. The feeling for Danilo not so bad, but we have in the final of the free practice we broke an engine. It's impossible for us to make the modify for the Q1. We need try to do our best, but it's not perfect because it was more important to do some lap for the qualify. And we need to change engine, but our bike, when we change engine, like explosion. We need a lot of time and not too much time from free practice 1 to qualify.
Up next, qualifying 1 from the Ridge. On Friday afternoon, before the start of Q1, the Warhorse HSBK Ducati team was still rebuilding the bike in the hope of making it out for the first qualifying session. While Petrucci was waiting for his team to finish up the bike, the other teams are making the most of their time on track.
Seems greasy.
It is.
A lot greasier.
Yeah. But that's still pretty impressive run. Really consistent.
Yeah.
You're not that far off of your best splits, right?
Yeah.
Even with that. So we need a 33.06 to 33.048 in the first one. How'd that front tire?
42.7. Pressure in that thing pretty good?
42.7, it's a bit high.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna drop it. Take it down to 41.5.
It still looks good on that left side though, huh?
So far I did, all right.
Nice work, man. Still losing the grip on the very edge of the tire.
Okay. So on the first, that first
yeah,
little
on the
bit.
initial crack, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Okay.
still, like we can do with more with the turning.
Yeah. Okay. Did it feel any different?
Yeah, that's still better.
Yeah. Okay. So give us. So you said on the first crack.
So where are you coming down? Or is it staying the same?
It's
left my track.
dropping a little bit on the edge.
Where's a good corner for the first crack? Is it pretty much consistent everywhere, or is it a particular gear?
Like the cane, corner 8, 11, 12.
You got your tool already? I'd say let's do a little bit of both. Do like 2 on the front and 1 or 2 on the rear. We're only at 12 mil on the shock right now.
Oh, okay, so...
Yeah, so we got room to go a couple mil on the shock at least. I'd go 2 on the shock.
The only thing that worries me is he says there's no grip.
I know, is that tire though, I think. I don't know if we got a bad one or something, but we had 129 that was really bad. Just make it like really got
let's do 1 in the rear and 2 in the front.
Perfect, done.
With 27 minutes left in the session, Petrucci got on his bike to head out, and the clutch doesn't engage.
Now it gets a little more nerve-wracking, and the pretending to be cool and calm that team is very good at might be put to the test.
And the big nerve-wracking part is you don't know what it is. So
okay.
You're just going through trial and error to try to figure it out as quick as possible.
A short time later, Cam Peterson ran off track, but saved it near turn 11.
That's the motocross right there.
Having fun?
Well,
Dude, the bike was this high in the air.
hit a false neutral going
Oh, did
in
you?
there.
Okay.
Cool.
Take a breather.
I've got the 100, guys.
Take a breather. I figured you were auditioning for a gym since he's here.
Missing over half of the 40-minute session, Petrucci is finally able to turn some laps.
We broke the bike at the end of FP1. We miss most of the time of FP2. So then we still having a bit of mess with our electronics. We still don't know why, but the bike is not constant lap per lap, especially on the engine brake. And learning new track like this, it's kind of difficult, but yeah, I think it's a little bit better.
As time expired on the session, Petrucci disrupted Scholz and Max Flinders setting up for practice starts. It left everyone wondering why.
What is going on?
Maybe he didn't know there.
What is going on there?
I'm not sure. I wonder if it's from the beginning of the session when Matt kept trying to follow him.
I don't like to be involved in this kind of thing. The session in FP2 was finished, and I was cruising around the track when Matthew passes at 200 kilometers per hour, just a few inches from me, and I say, why you have to do that? And I was then angry for all the situation. I had few laps, a lot of problem, and I did a stupid thing. But I was so angry. But I think Matthew don't need to do that. I mean, it's kind of pointing me and yeah, making me nervous. I don't think it's good racing. I mean, we are here for racing, not for creating something like this. But anyway, he's gone.
Obviously, there was a little bit of messing around during the qualifying. People want to try and follow each other. I don't want someone following me. They don't want me following him. But I think the biggest deal was on the cooldown lap. I was accused of touching someone, but we've got video footage that I wasn't even remotely close. And then, yeah, I just pulled up to the practice start next to Max, a good friend of mine, laughing and joking around, high-fiving each other, and then caught a elbow. But I mean, you know, I think it's just all part of the racing now, and I think, you know, emotions are definitely running high. So I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna get angry over it.
After the break, race 1 from Washington. Temperatures are on the rise, but not a cloud in the sky makes for perfect Saturday race conditions.
Testing 1, 2. Yeah, nothing. So we've made a chassis change now, but I'd like to, the first end in, I'd like to go a little bit further with it if you don't feel anything negative with it right now.
If he's not radically impressed with the 129 versus the 97 at the end of the session, I might be running on the 97.
Danilo Petrucci was only able to make 4 laps in Q1 after a clutch problem took up most of the session. He was also issued a penalty for his actions at the end of Q1. He'll start 3 spots back from his qualifying position and receive 2 points on his Superbike license. He currently starts in provisional 5th, but a full 2.5 behind Gagne.
I'd be interested to see if that tire pressure went up a little bit throughout that run.
Okay, I'm wondering too.
There's a couple things that have been different from the bike from last year, and even the first, COTA Road Atlanta VIR, we didn't really have what we wanted. Like, struggled a little bit with the front end feel with some of the changes we made from last year. And finally at Road America, we figured out a lot more comfort with the front end. And unfortunately, I threw it away in the first race, and the second race was a little weird, so we didn't really get to show, I think, what we could do. And I'm happy that we brought the bike here with some of those changes that we made, and I felt really, really good right away here, back to really, really comfortable, which is something I've been a little off on all year, honestly.
Yeah, went up 2.2 pounds.
Yeah, felt like it.
Felt like it.
Probably even more later, I'm sure, huh?
It depends on whether we, you know, it might be more
It also
stabilized.
gets kind of greasy and
But
maybe doesn't even
it didn't
generate.
feel that hard when it came off the track. So do you want a fresh front, or are you happy with that? Do you want the French front?
Do it, yeah.
Okay. Both. Front and rear, both.
No, ma il cerchio è montato giusto. È montata la gomma alla rovescio sul cerchio, è montato. La ruota non la puoi montare alla rovescio, ci sono diversi...
Maybe we change the front tire. We roll out with this next tire.
Maybe.
Keep this one for a morning warm-up.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Will, let's change that front tire. We also picked up a chatter that we didn't have yesterday. Yeah, the chatter we didn't have yesterday.
It's just kind of been the same thing all weekend, just trying to close that gap down to Jake. And the nice thing is looking at the data, and I'm kind of able to see what he does, but you know, I try put it, you know, on my bike, and there's still something different that he's doing that I got to figure out. So we slowly chipping away at it, and yeah, it was nice to end the first day P2.
Front tire is on backwards.
I know.
But it's okay. It's not going to affect it. Performance is the same. Maybe we might have a little joint at the seam, maybe open. But it's okay. We have no choice.
So he's saying that the rear's not pumping, but there's a issue out of 12.
Yeah, I think we need more.
So,
we took preload out.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Yep,
Yeah,
we
so
took one
should,
out.
We should put that in because we're on a 107.
Correct.
So we should go more preload. So when he lets out the brake, it's
Still loading the front. Do you want to do one or two?
Anywhere else? Try two.
Two. Okay. Perfect.
It's on a little bit too much to that long left.
We're done, right? You want to just wait for the Q tire?
Yeah. That is the Q. It's ready to go. Everybody's happy. All right, this will do one, maybe 2 laps, but we got plenty of time to do one. You can possibly get in 2.
So you have the Q on there, which is going to help a little bit with rear grip anyways, and we just took one round of preload out of the rear to split the difference between those two changes.
We're not going to have much time. So we do one flyer on this, come back in, we'll put the Q tire in, but we're going to have to be quick on the in and outs, okay? We're not going to change the front, we don't have time.
Petrucci's lost 0.8 of a second. Petrucci could find himself off the front row of the grid here. Out onto the final straight. It's going to be provisional front row of the grid, possibly. Crosses the line now and goes second, a 1:40.1, but he's a second behind Roger.
Dobbiamo capire perché ha tenuto meglio il tempo, però. Perché alla fine vince quello, vince. Perché li hai fatti bene tutti e tre, eh? Hai fatto il tuo best in tutti e 3 i settori, infatti.
Hector Barbera finishes ahead of Scholz in Q2 with a 4th fastest time. Petrucci finishes almost a full second behind Gagne in P2, but with Petrucci's 3-grid position penalty, he is forced to start P5, putting Barbera on the front row in P3.
Gagne with a good launch, so does teammate Cameron Peterson, but it's going to be the #1 plate of Jake Gagne, who leads the way on that fresh and lean progressive Yamaha.
Before the first lap is completed, Richie Escalante crashes out, and shortly after, another rider crashes, causing the red flag to come out.
Nobody else went down.
Why red flag?
What?
Red flag, why? Why? He's
That guy
outside.
Another person went down.
Both riders are okay, but this gives Escalante the opportunity to get back in the race if the bike has minimal damage. Unfortunately, he doesn't make it out in time for the restart.
2 minutes, 2 minutes.
Quick restart?
Quick restart. So you're gonna do a sighting lap, you'll pull up to the grid, Chase will be standing there in your original grid spot, you'll hang up for like 10 seconds, and then you'll do a warm-up lap and then the race starts.
many laps is delayed?
14.
Huh?
14.
Oh, they cut it.
So 2 less laps. Yep.
Start number 2 for Medallia Superbike. Race number 1 is a go. Cam Peterson with a really good launch on the 45. But his teammate Gagne up the inside. Peterson trying to get positioned around the outside. Petrucci trying to get up into third immediately.
Barber does a nice job of defending that third spot. Let's see if he keeps Petrucci behind him as they get down here into turn 1. Cam Peterson playing a good teammate there. Didn't really challenge Gagne as hard as he probably could have as they went down into that chicane.
On the first lap after the restart, Jake Lewis crashes on the last turn, and the red flag waves once again. While the cameras were focused on Lewis's crash, Petrucci also crashes in the first turn and has some damage on his bike that needs attention.
At the end of the first lap, I crashed at the fifth corner. I pick up the bike and I go away. We see nothing.
I've been racing motorcycles since I was 4 and broke quite a few bones. So I mean, usually when you break something, you know pretty much right away. And you know, I think taking that impact to the curb and my ribs, you know, I was kind of short of breath there for a little bit. And then when I went to my knees, I knew something in my hand wasn't right. You know, within 2 minutes, you know, walking back to the pits, it had already swollen up pretty good, and it hurt to take off the gloves. So then I knew something was wrong. We're probably for sure gonna miss Laguna, and then my plan is to hopefully try to be back for Brainerd in 4 weeks' time, because that was one of my favorite tracks last year, and then especially Pittsburgh is another good track for me. So just been texting and going back and forth with a couple of different surgeons today to see exactly what the plan for my future and to see what I need to do, you know, because I don't want it to complicate my career and just my life after. So I want to get it fixed right and let it heal up. I know we're motorcycle racers, but then again, we got to take care of our bodies, and I don't want to be jumping on one of these super bikes not at 100%.
Weird having, 3 starts, 2 red flags. The first 2 starts, I got great starts off the line, but the third start, I had some time to think about it, and I went out there and kind of was able to latch onto Jake just for, I think it was 2 or 3 laps.
The red flags came out, and it definitely hurt me because I was in third. Petrucci was behind me, Barbara was behind me, so I definitely knew that I had to make a decent start after that. But yeah, I mean, it always sucks to have red flags come out, but maybe it was better for me because my pace was terrible. So I think the more laps that there would have been, the further back I would have gone. So I mean, it is what it is, though.
I've been quite lucky because today in the second restart at the end of the first lap I crashed, even if no one recognized, and I came back to the pit and everybody was looking at me. I say, come on, I miss a foot peg. Why? Because I crashed. And yeah, it was a bit of a mess, but I've been lucky.
The M4 crew managed to get Escalante's bike ready, but due to a rear wheel swap with a new tire, per the rules, he has to start the race at the back of the grid.
And away we go, and a good start from Hector Barbara on the Titler's bike. Up the inside goes Schultz. He's looking for some room. So Schultz with a much better run at it in restart number 2, start number 3, I guess is how you'd say it. So Schultz, a better run at it. Petrucci looks a little bit more tentative.
He's 5th. Yeah, you can see he got hung up there behind Hector Barbera in the race prior to this, or the start prior to this. He rode around the outside of Hector Barbera there. This time, he wasn't able to quite make that same move. So right now, Petrucci, who had a great start that last time and got himself up to 3rd early, is 5th now. Looks like he's going to slide up underneath in the background of our shot there. You saw him slide himself into 4th as Gagne and Peterson head down this chute, Greg. Turn 7, very technical down this little area here.
With Gagne and Peterson pulling away early, Petrucci pushes hard to keep up and makes a move in turn 5.
Still in 4th place. Out front is Jake Gagne. Cameron Peterson go with him. So a 43.293.
Man, I love how Petrucci's bike comes through and out of turn 4, Greg.
There
Super
he goes.
confident. He gets up underneath Schultz. Is he going to run a little bit wide? Nope, he's going to keep that number 9 tucked tight down all the way through turn 6. Going to fire it out of there, and I think he'll start to get away from that 11 bike.
The race was shortened to 8 laps, which didn't leave much time for anyone to track down Gagne and Peterson, as the Attack Yamaha riders finished 1st and 2nd.
Gagne. He's trying to start it all over again. Another run, and it starts off with a win in race number 1 in Medallia Superbike for Jake Gagne. His teammate Cameron Peterson brings it home in second place, and Petrucci will get third, the final spot on the podium.
Skoltz fourth and Hector Barbera fifth. Richie Escalante manages to earn 6 points, finishing 10th.
He doesn't want to hear about the championship points, but I'm going to have to say it anyways, Jake, sorry. But he's now 16 points behind Danilo, so he's gained some traction here in the last couple of races.
It's not a long run to turn 1 here, so it's like if you get a good jump, it's hard to make, it's hard for anybody to dive in there. So, but yeah, I think everybody is a little frustrated to see 2 red flags, like first lap. It's like, man, let's just get this race rolling.
It's another 1-2 for the Yamaha boys, and that's what we need. That's what the team's looking for. So keep building off of this, keep having fun with the guys, having fun with the team, and congrats to Jake on another unreal race. Congrats to Danilo on another podium. Yeah, looking forward to having fun tomorrow.
Yeah, I had to buy dinner for the crew. 1-2 and it's on me. Bummer.
Richard had made that proclamation at I think last year. He said, yeah, if we get any 1-2s, he says, I'm going to buy dinner. So everything that we do inside that pit box is we're really trying hard to make sure that Richard has to buy a lot of dinners.
Race 2, when we return. On Saturday in race 1, PJ Jacobsen crashed out with a few laps to go and looks to race 2 for redemption.
I was not happy at all the whole race with my front end, and unfortunately I crashed because I just felt like I was overriding. I was behind Yates, and unfortunately I just crashed and overrode the situation I was in. It's going to be quite difficult being 12th on the grid, so I'll try to manage what I can today. Hopefully not another crash, and we'll see if I have some better confidence with the bike.
In Sunday morning's warm-up session, the Teitlers teammates had a misunderstanding on track that carried over into pit lane.
This is not the way. You look me. You are inside there, sure. You look me. This is not the way. I can help this time. Okay, you follow me, but not inside it. Yeah, you follow. You look me, and you inside in the middle of the corner. Yeah. Not the way. Don't ever. But this is good for the team.
Don't ever kick me towards that way, or put your hands up to me. I'm the same level you are.
Yeah.
Don't look down on me.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're saying.
When me, I push it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the
never close the throttle, but you look me.
Let's do briefing first, yeah? Briefing first, later.
Okay, don't worry.
This morning in warm-up, I guess I was out there on the track, and I was in his way, so I don't know, he put his hand up and feet up, and it is what it is. I don't really like when other riders do that. Everyone's out there for the same thing. I'm sorry, I'm in your way, but I mean, it is what it is.
When I entered to the pit lane, I lost nervous. I don't understand why needed this warm-up. Maybe it's a mistake, or is this weekend for him is not a fantastic, or I don't know, lost nervous, or I don't know what's up. Because this morning, maybe I'm lost nervous because I don't understand why he's introducing the middle of the corner.
I think it's one of those things where everybody has a lot of emotion and things like this, and sometimes stuff happens, and you argue about it, and then the next day it's past.
Petrucci with a little bit of movement, but no drama there.
Cam Peterson and Gagne both with tremendous starts. Look at Petrucci having a look. He's not going to be close enough. And again, Cam Peterson rides shotgun to his teammate.
As Gagne breaks the race lap record on lap 2, Petrucci is starting to reel in Cameron Peterson.
This is what puts so much pressure on all of Gagne's competitors, isn't it, Greg? I mean, look at the lead he's already built up. He's did a 42.6 from a standing start.
Halfway through the race, Matthew Skoltz is closing the gap to the front 3.
Skoltz just ran a 41.1, his fastest lap of the race. Closed in 0.6 of a second on that last lap to these two guys. He's 2.8 back, but I think he's going to run out of time.
Early in lap 9, Petrucci overtakes Peterson for second.
So just like that, here comes Danilo Petrucci, your championship points leader.
Peterson keeps Petrucci honest for the remaining laps and fights to take back second, but can't quite find the pace to make a pass.
He'll take the checkered flag and get another win on the season. In second place will be Petrucci. Right behind him, Cam Peterson and Matthew Skultz in tow.
MotoAmerica heads to California as the championship enters the second half of the season at the legendary Laguna Seca. With another pair of victories, Jake Gagne moves up to second in the standings.
It feels nice to have a little bit more confidence in my motorcycle and be at a position where like I can ride the crap out of the thing and ride it hard and I know what it's going to do.
He's actually faster than last year. So last year, the thing with racing is everyone's always trying to improve. So last year isn't good enough. The bike you had in 2018 is not good enough. You have to keep improving the bike. So we took some steps early in the year to make the front end better so we can turn and use the strengths of the Yamaha a little more. And it's taken him a couple of rounds at race pace to get his head around it. And we brought the bike a little bit back to him. And now he feels really comfortable on it. So at the end of the day, you know, we're breaking track records again.
When I look inside to see what his eyes look like, because that's the soul, that's the window to the soul. It's a window to a rider, and you can tell right away, you know, how much effort it's taken them to do this, and whether or not, you know, they are confident and are happy with what they've done. And Jake's eyes both days were just calm, happy, just looking forward to, you know, getting back on the bike and doing it again.
Danilo Petrucci still leads the points by 11 over Jake Gagne, while Matthew Skultz is relegated to third, now 6 points adrift and 17 points out of the lead. Cameron Peterson is fourth in the standings, with Hector Barbera rounding out the top 5.
Now we are in the top of the championship, but our focus is solve the other problem, because I am sure if we have solved the other problem, we solve also the championship problem.
Last season, Jake Gagne did the double at Laguna Seca. Coming off double victories at the Ridge, could this be the start of another win streak and the turning point of the season for the defending champion?
Yeah, the guy went out and he did some crazy lap times at the beginning of the race. And yeah, I could see just from him getting ready for the race that he was going to hand it to us. And yeah, he dropped the hammer those first couple laps, and I just wasn't able to stay with him.
For the first time all season, Matthew Skultz finds himself third in the championship point standings, but does consistently well at the remaining circuits on our calendar.
It just really sucks to be off of the podium twice. You know, our goal this year was to try and at least be on the box at every single race. We can, you know, get there with the package that we have. It was nice we were able to kind of catch the battle for second. But yeah, it just sucks to get 2 fourths, but considering this has always been a really weak track for me, I'll take 2 fourths.
Those first couple rounds, yeah, you know, we were fast. We got some wins, we got some poles, but I didn't have that feel that I had last year with some different changes. We've had some different stuff. Our bike is a little different than it was last year, and it took us till Road America and for sure this weekend to kind of give me the front end feel that I've been looking for all year long. And so, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens when we load it off at Laguna.
There's going to be a different Jake that comes there, but he's going to be in the same sort of mindset. I expect that Danilo is going to like going back to Laguna. Nice to see him smile today, too. It was good race for him.